Hey everybody, welcome to another video. This is Ken with X Mods. Right now, back to the Sega Genesis, or Sega CD I should say. We're going to recap some capacitors. So, already recapped a 470 microfarad capacitor. I think it was at 6.3 volts, and I put a 35 volt with, the 470 microfarad cap. I just bought some new caps off eBay. There's, as you can see through the bag, you call them or do whatever. These caps, I don't know too much about. If I'm, I think they're called like Q something. Yeah, QVS. I don't know anything about QVS, but yeah, here they are. These are 333 microfarad and 16 volt. So I'm gonna replace that cap, and there's a bunch of caps in here. But what I'm gonna do right now, I'm just gonna remove the top, and here's the shielding. So the next part is taking off the shielding, and then we'll go from there. Alright, the next step is to remove these screws to get the shielding off. And there's about 6 of them. One I forgot to put back in, but that's alright because I was still waiting on some caps, so I just didn't bother to go back into it. Thing you want to do with these Sega CDs is not try to get in there. Pretty much if you need to work on these, like the laser replacements assembly and all that, then less is more in this case, because the parts wear out as you go in and out of them. The threads and all that. So these are coarse thread screws. So just use your judgment. And almost always when you get these Sega CDs, they always have some kind of weird issue with them. Not always, but like this one, there's a fuse holder right here, so there's actually a fuse, and you'll see a lot of videos on that. I haven't seen any videos on how to recap a Model 2, but it's a no-brainer really. If you know how to solder, and then you know how to recap. But so yeah, this is gonna require 2 hands, guys. So I'm gonna do video cuts, so don't mind that, just because I'm shooting it with my phone. But yeah, I'll be back. Alright, so now we got the metal shielding off. If you look, that cap is kind of bulging on the top. The issue I was getting is I was playing a game, and well, I wasn't playing a game, but yeah, I guess I was playing a game. And it wasn't loading, like the high graphics scenes, it wasn't loading well. And I already replaced the laser assembly. So everything I read was saying, check for some bad capacitors. I don't have a good way of testing the caps, so I'm just replacing the ones I think are bad. It's kind of a bad way of going about doing it, but here's the other one I replaced right there. Yeah, it's kind of not sitting even, but that's fine. As long as it doesn't hit the top of the shielding, you'll be good. I'm cutting it close on that one, actually. On that one, that's the one I replaced. So yeah, we'll get to it. So see you in a bit. Okay, so focus on it in a minute. So in this case, holy hell, I guess it can't focus on it. But yeah, here's a the capacitor I got, but the value. So it's 16 volt, 330 microfarad, and then right here's a let's see, right there's the two little traces right there, or there's, you know what I mean, little holes. So I desolder those. I'm gonna use some desoldering wick, and what you do is you place your desoldering, some people call it braid, I call it wick. You place it on there, you lay your soldering iron on top, and it'll suck the solder into the braid. So I'll do that real quick, and then I found another capacitor that I could replace, which is right here. So that's the same value, so I'll do that while I'm at it. Everyone, yeah, I went ahead and did my repair, or not really repair, but it was working before, but the job, as you can see, it's working, so I soldered it incorrectly. Yeah, one thing about capacitors that you need to know, when you got, see how one has a stripe and the other side doesn't? So the stripe is negative, and you want to get the correct microfarad. I think you could be like, they say 20% off the microfarad. So, you know, these are 333s, so if you have like a 360, you should be fine. Or I think you could probably even go lower than a 330. Yeah, 330 is what these are. So 330 microfarad, you could probably go down to like I don't know if they make it like a 325 or like a 315, but you know, I wouldn't go any higher than that. I haven't tried that because I try to always get the right exact capacitor. The voltage, now the way that capacitor voltage works is if, you know, these are 16 volts. So if, let's say you put a 10 volt in there, then kaboom. But if you put a 25 volt in there, then, you know, that just is a little bit safer in a sense. So you can always go higher on the voltage, you can never go lower. I don't know if you can stick something, let's say if they made like 150 volt with 330 microfarad capacitor. I don't know if you put that into a 16 slot, if it would be bad or not, if it'll, you know, charge up properly, but you just have to be careful. Also, so the stripe's always negative, which is the shorter leg, and the longer leg's going to be positive. So if you put these in backwards, you're pretty much creating a bomb. You know, they have little slits on the top. So if you got a capacitor that has a slitted top, you know, that's the vent. It'll vent out. But if they're bulging on the top, or it looks like they're, you know, almost like a zit where they're, I know it's a bad example, but if they're have like a little white color cream or liquid on the top or liquid coming out of the bottom, then it's probably time to change it. These ones looked pretty good, you know, it looked a little bulging on the top, but I don't know, I was going to put a game in and test it, so we'll see how it works. So yeah, here's another video, so I hope you have a good rest of your weeks.